Hi and welcome
Hello.
to the Holy Rollers. Apologies for missing last week. We just had some stuff that, well, personally, we just had to take care of. Um, we are back tonight. We are excited to be back. Actually, I'll flip it over so everyone can see all the smiling faces. And we're going to start like we usually do with a roll for prayer, which was already done. Although Dennis lost, Dennis is going to do it anyway because, well, he requested it. So, Dennis, on you.
All right. Lord, we just come to you right now and we ask that you touch us, touch this time that we have together. I pray that you bless each one of us tonight as we've shown this week that we are a family outside of this game. I pray, Lord, for each one of us tonight that as we go through this, that you give us wisdom to be able to glorify you in this game. I pray for everybody who's watching now and who's going to watch this, Lord. I pray for salvation. I pray that you give us the words to uh, to share, and that people's hearts will be touched. I pray that you use this game to glorify you, and I ask that you just uh, give us the ability to have fun tonight and to enjoy this. And I just thank you in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
All right. So, yeah, I didn't even get a chance to go back and watch the video from last time, so you guys might actually
It
have
was
to fill
good.
me in a few places.
I did.
I will say, if you have watched, thank you for watching. Last week, the last video posted was actually the highest viewed video in such a short amount of time.
Really?
So,
Really?
Well,
Awesome.
thanks, y'all.
yeah,
Yeah.
Thank
absolutely.
you. Thank you, viewers.
So, from what I remember,
We do have a
um,
couple people watching.
so the group is now in the capital city of Fisari, which is
Yes.
the easternmost kingdom in our world, and uh, Devlin had a chance to go and gather some information his own way. Um, Terrence and Mara made their way to the cathedral, had some conversations there. Raja was a man about town, um, and I think that left us off with picking up with Albus and Muriel going to the library. So, that's exactly where we're going to pick up. So, it is our we'll say for the sake of just easy keeping up with, we're still within the same day. We're kind of going to roll back time a little bit um, to Albus and Muriel making their way to the library. So that
We're time
is
travelers.
yeah, that's where we'll pick it up. So have at it, you guys.
And Terrence and Mara went to a temple of Jehovah.
Yeah.
Terrence
Yes.
learned some distressing news about the paladin population in the town.
Yes.
Um,
And some distressing news about the town itself.
Right?
yes, it's all coming together.
Yeah.
So Albus and I are still. I'm assuming this library is in the Cloud District.
Yes.
The area of the town that's for the higher ups, the northern section, I believe
Yeah.
it was called. Okay.
And we know where it is because of the map, correct?
Yeah, correct.
We kept the map.
On the way there, I'll talk to Muriel. I'll be like, Muriel, so last night I went back through my journal and I looked at some notes. I took on a couple of the books that I managed to get on what we had learned about Vathnagoth. A brief history of Sanera and a confinement of insanity. But here's what we know so far, so we can know what we need to look for. So, before, like, way before the fall, before everything went crazy, Vathnagoth, he was around for about 10 to 15 years before he was defeated by the Flame of Namar, which was an adventuring group. It was made up of four beings: Roland, Evis, Tiger and Eldest. They went to battle them, and 2 of them died, and the cleric called out to Bahamut, and Bahamut responded and banished Vathnagoth, the 9 Hells. So that's what we know there.
I wonder if Yehovah will answer us if we need him.
That's a great question. The only other thing I remember I looked through that might be interesting is this Flame of Numar. They were originally, after they had all perished and died, they were originally buried in the city of Namar, but their bodies were taken away by zealots and buried somewhere else. So if they have any like weapons or armor or anything, that might be avenue to research.
That is a good point. I mean, I hate to disinter the dead, but I don't think they'd mind if Vathnagoth was trying to come back. How do we get that past Terrence at the time we decide to do it is something I will leave to you.
Got a little while, I think, because that's back on Namar, so we got a while before we get there. So we want to try and research. So my thoughts are that we are trying to figure out Vathnagoth, some of the history. I'd love to know like some of his motivations. What was he trying to accomplish before he got banished? And was he working with, like, in that amulet we have, does that mean he was working with the dragons, or were they working
all valid points
under him? So, your thoughts?
I think we can look into Vathnagoth as an entity. Extraplanar travel and binding, because let's be honest, we want to face him there, not here. He would tear our plane apart. We should look into not only the weapons that the Flame of Namar used, but their tactics. And, like you said before, allies. If that amulet is any indicator, he has friends. And if they are of equal standing on that amulet by its representation, they're probably just as strong as him. So we need to learn about them as well.
Yes, and where they're at, because I haven't read anything about them. And you would think that they would pop up if they were like demigod level.
Exactly, but there's only so many demigod chromatic dragons in existence, past, present, or future. It's wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. We can look them up, I'm sure, and have reasonable assurance that we're looking at the correct ones. Because again, there's only so many.
Okay, let's go do that.
Let's see if they'll let the riffraff in. And we take off to the library.
All right. So, as you guys kind of make your way through the city, obviously, kind of just taking in the sights and sounds. I'd probably say maybe a period of about an hour to just kind of traverse through the city to make your way to the library. Just I guess as a reference, the library is. The library is right here.
Okay.
So, obviously, you make your way back through the northern gate. Make your way over to the library. It's a library, so you're not exactly breaking into Fort Knox or anything crazy. So simply just kind of walk in. As you walk in, just the musty smell of just old books in a city by the sea just overwhelms your senses. There are hanging braziers probably every 8 to 10 feet throughout this just massive long concourse. The library kind of comes in and opens up into just a very large great room to where there's not a second floor, but there are just rows and rows and rows of books that push all the way back, uh, probably going on, you know, a few 100 feet. There are ladders that's how high the bookcases are. Is each row has its own ladder to where you're able to go up, and there are many patrons. You watch as gnomes and halflings and a couple of half orcs, a couple of elves. You just watch them as they just kind of skitter around, collecting books, sitting down, cracking them open. You notice a few people with just massive stacks of books just sitting there, and yeah, that's what you see so far.
Okay.
I'd like to try and find like a help desk or something so that we're not just wandering.
Okay.
Do they have a Dewey Decimal System?
Not quite like you would, not like you would find, obviously, with us. You do notice that she's a female human, probably mid shoulder length, brown hair, kind of very studious, walking around. You notice that she's picking up books left and right, either putting them on carts or immediately taking them back to, their respective spot.
Ma'am, Miss, I'm going to say not too loudly. Can you help us find what we are potentially looking for?
Well, I guess that supposes on what you're looking for, my dear.
I mean, fair. I shove Albus forward. Tell the lady what we're looking for.
We are looking for anything to do with kind of ancient history. Specifically, we're looking at a Dime deity / dragon, specifically named Vatnagoth. Anything that surrounds that. It would also reference the Flame of Numar or the battle at Or. Anything around that time.
So make a perception check.
I'll do it as well if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Hang on, haven't even pulled her up yet.
16.
Perception. Also a 16, but I'll add guidance. Dirty 20.
You both notice that she shifts very uneasily as you begin mentioning specific name. Namely Vatnagoth.
I wonder why.
So would you be able to help us with that search, or at least point us in the right direction? It'd be better if we had somebody on staff who could kind of show us like how the books are organized, whatnot.
Well, dear, for what you're looking for, you simply need to go to the far end of the library, far to the left, all the way at the very top. That will at least get you the book of... I dare not say his name.
Do we not say that name? Is that like taboo?
Have you some history with the beast?
Personally, no. But the destruction that he wreaked upon my family in the Mar, prior to us coming here, I don't speak his name.
We're sorry to have upset you. And we're sorry even more for your loss.
I appreciate the help, though.
It is certainly appreciated. Again, the book you're particularly looking for, yes. As I said, all the way at the end, farthest left bookshelf, all the way at the top. As you
I kind of I sidle up a little closer to her, if I may, and I say, given your experiences with this beast, I wouldn't blame you for exercising some degree of control over the knowledge of him, lest his uh, potential followers seek to repeat those same horrors. Is there perhaps some tomes or pieces of tomes that you have, let's just say, have not made it back on the shelf?
make a persuasion check.
Oh, good, a +4. Hang on. A 14?
I'm sorry, dear. The books you see are the books we have. We do not hide the knowledge from anyone seeking it, regardless of what the subject might be, although some subjects might be less tasteful than others.
Very well. Thank you for your aid.
I guess we'll...
As she turns, I'm going to detect thoughts her.
Okay.
I mean, what's the chances we run into somebody who's had experience with Vathnagoth in the very place, one of the few places knowledge of him exists? So I will use detect thoughts, and I will use a pact slot just in case I want to push it further. But for now, I'm just going to get her surface thoughts, and she won't know that's happening.
So as she turns and walks away, you get a sense of a very high sense of anxiety, almost just this frightened, almost just like a frightened child. She is repeating Vathnagoth's name over and over again in her head. And each time she does, it almost becomes a bit more...
Panicked.
Panicked is a good word for it.
I drop it, and I look at Albus, and I say, I fear we've upset the deer.
It's interesting because in Namar, I mean, it's been in the book. I mean, it's been like hundreds of years since.
If that dragon can have repercussions that last generations by his last incursion, I shudder to think what he could do today.
Agree.
But I plumbed the surface of her mind. She doesn't seem to be untoward. She's just scared. I suppose if we were intelligent, we would be as well.
Speak for yourself. I'm terrified. But let's go figure this out. See what we can find.
And as he retreats, I mutter kind of to myself, I'm more scared of losing friends than I am dying myself. And I follow.
And we'll go all the way to the end of the library to the left and find a ladder, go up.
Alright. So as you make your way up the ladder, probably about halfway up, you start to notice that the dust on the shelves gets deeper and thicker
Thick.
as you go. Up to the very
Thick.
top.
With 3 C's.
That's right. Sick.
Thank you for smiling at that, Joffrey.
So by the time you make
Originally.
it to the top, there are just mounds of cobwebs, dust, you name it, and there are and they appear to be just very, very old books by the time you make it up. And Albus, one you recognize as A Brief History of Cyneria, which you've got a copy of.
Can I observe if any of the tomes have been moved?
Ooh,
Like, if the dust is so thick, it would show if they had been.
you can make an investigation check. And Albus, if you want to do one too, you can.
All right. I was going to ask if I could help, but
Okay, then would you rather me? Do you have a? I have a +4.
I have a +8.
Then you do it. You're quarterbacking.
Okay. So with advantage,
I'll give you guidance on top of that because I want to seal it.
All right. 27.
A 27? Is that with or without guidance?
That's advantage with guidance.
Okay. That's what
But
I say.
even without advantage, like that was my first roll. My first roll was a 24, and then I got a 3 on the D4.
Mm-hmm. So you do notice that at the top, where there was probably maybe 4 to 5 books total on the shelf, that there is a distinct line that has been drug out prior
Like a book that,
prior to you, like when you look at it, you know that someone has specifically gone there, climbed that same ladder, and pulled a book from that section that you're looking at.
okay, yeah, is the book like the and pull the book and put it back, or is there like an empty space? where
There's
no
an
book?
empty space.
Oh, no.
Book
I look
is
up.
missing.
That may very well be the book we were looking for.
I'm gonna do prestidigitation all around all the books, so that we can clear it off without getting myself all dusty.
Okay.
And do the books look like they're about to fall apart or anything?
The copy of the Brief History of Cyneria completely does. There are a few others that are just basically disheveled. You would do good to grab them, and like if you toss them down, I could just see like the pages just kind of fluttering away as it falls to the ground. So you'd have
All
to
right, well,
definitely be very careful bringing them down.
I'm gonna just cast mending on them, just to kind of shore them up a little bit. I know that's not a cure-all for everything, but it might make it a little bit less likely that they're going to fall apart on me.
I like it.
And I'm going to just start handing books down to Muriel. I'll hand down all the books that are down there so we can kind of look through them.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so I'd probably say maybe it probably takes you all of maybe 3 to 5 minutes to slowly kind of, grab a book, kind of walk yourself down, hand it to her, come back up, because these you definitely would not want to toss over. So you at this point you've probably gotten probably 3 legible books out of what was left, minus that one particular book that is no longer there.
And so looking at the titles of the book, does it look like the book we want is the one that is missing?
So
Is it part of a series?
it's not a part of a series. As you're looking at them, you've got so you have the Brief History of Cyneria. There is also a collection of stories from Fisari. The third one, you have trouble kind of reading the title just because the cover is, it's just old and worn and not quite torn, but whatever was there kind of imprinted into the leather. It's so worn that it's basically smoothed off the name.
I say we start with that one.
We're gonna find a table, those 3 books, and just start going through them. I also want to go. I still want to start with the one that we don't know the title for. I do want to go through the other ones, including A Brief History of Cineria, just to make sure it's like the exact same copy. It's not nothing different or an alternative.
Yep, no, absolutely. As you kind of flip through it, it looks very similar. Maybe yours is a little more revised than what it is.
No major pieces of...
Nothing major.
All right. Well, then we'll start with the book with the smooth cover.
Okay. So as you kind of start looking through the book, Alice, you hit a certain point, and it looks a little familiar.
Like the what is that book I also have? I also have Confinement of Insanity. Is that what it's looking like?
It is a copy of the Confinement of Insanity. So kind of within your short time of being in the Wizard Tower, writing it down. Obviously, you didn't scribe the entire book.
Yeah.
So this one, actually, you now have a full copy of it.
Nice. Any integral or revolutionary parts of that book now that you have it in full?
So as you kind of go through and you start looking at other pieces of the book that you don't have, it kind of starts further back prior to the what is known as kind of this heroic group, right? You've got the Light of Namar that was formed. But as you look back, you notice that prior to the one you're familiar with, that there was also another mention of the Light of Namar. As you go forward beyond that, there's no longer a mention of it, although from the time period of Vathnagoth coming to this plane and the Light of Namar being able to successfully banish him, apparently there hasn't been a need. But even as you go back further and further and further, it seems like there's this repetitious thing happening where, I don't know, time period wise, maybe a few centuries, maybe a little less, could possibly be more, but it appears that there's at least been 3 to 4 separate sets of people, adventurers, if you will, that have become known as the Light of Namar.
Wow. Are they all in pursuit of Vathnagoth's imprisonment, or are they after different things for their time?
So, as you read, you find that the one that you already have information on and the one prior to them have both Fought is not a word. It's been a very long week.
It's okay.
While Vathnagoth's name is plain as day in the current one, as you go further back, a name isn't given, but there are very conspicuous similarities.
Okay, so it's a black dragon each time.
Yeah.
Not a Hydra or a Tarask. It's
Right.
a black dragon. Okay. Getcha. Well, he's persistent. I'll give him that. What do you want to look at next?
All right. The collection of stories of Fisari.
Okay.
That's the third book we got.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to look through that. See if there's anything in there that's relevant to our current plight.
Alright, so as you start kind of thumbing your way through, at this point you're going at a pretty expeditious speed. Make an investigation check.
I'll assist you and grant you guidance. Do you hear me, Jesse?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So I got a 17 plus 4, 21.
Okay.
Nice.
You notice about midway through the book, even as you're thumbing through as quickly as you are, just as many books as you've read, you've kind of learned I don't have to read every word, but I can kind of go through and just look for keywords that you're specifically looking for.
He's a champion speed reader.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you always look for at the beginning, the first paragraph and the last paragraph.
That's right.
That's what's.
I just hit Control F.
Yeah, exactly.
What is this Control F you speak of?
I take psychic damage.
You notice that there's a page missing.
Of course there
is. The page after, almost as you run your hand over it, you can feel there's indentions on that page.
Have we got thin enough paper we can trace this? Or do a rubbing? Let's do a rubbing. What would that check be, DM? To do a rubbing on the page that's left.
I'm just going to see how many times I can get you to say rubbing.
I hate you. You sound like you're worse than my husband.
What would that be? Because you would have to be.
Brian pipes up from the back. No, I'm not.
Because you would have to be very, very careful, obviously, not to either A, rip your paper, but also not
rip the book.
Rip the book. Sleight of hand?
I have a +0 to that.
I have a +3 on sleight of hand.
I'll guide you and grant you advantage. I'm just like holding the paper, like with just my barest little fingertips, like careful.
They're both the same. Let me add a D4. Oh, that's pretty good. 14.
14. So you get about halfway. You get a good rub done, about halfway done, and shut up, Stephanie. And you kind of start noticing that the paper's kind of starting to rip a little bit. The book kind of seems like it's not quite liking it, so you stop. But you got, like I said, you got a good half of it done. As you stare at it, pretty quickly recognize the symbol as having the north-south. You've got south and east. You do not have the rest of it, but just based off the fact that you now have one dragon head pointing this way, one dragon head pointing down, that you know what
We
it
can
is.
infer.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
That's good enough for me.
amulet. Okay.
So the amulet is indicative, and it's part of Vathnagoth's history.
Now, what's the title of the story that this page goes with?
So as you're looking, as you kind of flip forward a little bit and then go back, it specifically references the Grotto of the Vanished Warrior.
Okay. What is the Grotto of the Vanished Warrior about? Obviously, a vanished warrior in a grotto, but what happens in between?
So, as you start kind of going through the story, it tells the story of a young knight and a young paladin who leave the capital of Fisari. Obviously, if you're leaving the capital, you're probably heading north because that's where the majority of the land is. It tells of the two, kind of this adventure that they kind of go through. They make their way through several of the cities that you would still recognize on the map. They make their way through Mistborough Hilltop. When they reach the ancient ruins of Ralgaz is where, kind of, I guess, what I would consider kind of the meat of the story happens. Just a lot of very strange happenings. There are mentions of several dragons, and there's
Chromatic, metallic, good, evil?
Based off of what
Are they fighting?
Based off of what you're reading, definitely evil.
Okay.
And
how do you spell Ralgav?
That would be Ralguz.
Ralgauz?
Guz. So I guess Ralgaz.
Ralgaz. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry. I was like, I can't keep going with notes. I don't know how to spell that.
Just do your best. I'm just glad it's on the map and I didn't have to remember that.
Okay, go on. Ralgaz.
So
Ralgaz.
as they kind of have this battle, you find that the story plays out that the paladin eventually turns out to be the only one that makes it back. When he makes it back to the royal city, he is then banished from the city, and
That's a fine how do you do.
that is that's kind of where that's where your missing page would be.
Something happened in between them fighting that dragon and the paladin being the only one to return to the city. Given that no dragon survived, perhaps he sacrificed his friend to seal it away.
That's an interesting theory. The other theory is that he failed and that's why they banished him.
Do they indicate why they banished him specifically?
It does not. So basically what you see is you read where he's coming back, and then the next page that you're able to read is basically him being banished. You're missing
Gotcha.
that piece.
Cool. Is this same story present in any other small, short story collections?
Within the same book?
No, within the library itself.
Well, I don't know.
If it's a story of this
you'd have to ask the lady, not me.
Okay, I want to find her while Albus is doing his thing and ask her.
I'll just be while she's doing that. I'll just looking through the rest of the book, seeing if there's any other stories with little nuggets that might be helpful.
Wait for me to come back so I can grant you guidance and help you. But can I find the little librarian gal again?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Excuse me. Do you have any other copies of what was it called? The Vanished Knight and the Grotto? The Grotto of the Vanished Knight?
The Grotto of the Vanished Knight. The Grotto of the no, hold on. Grotto of the Missing Warrior.
That's it. Any more stories of the Grotto of the Missing Warrior?
Let me. And you
It
are
was
certain that you have pulled the books down from the back left? Yes, I remember you blew one.
I mean, I am distinctive.
That is without a doubt. Let me. Give me time. Let me look. Go about your business, and I shall. If I find, I'll bring to your table.
Thank you. I am distinctive in other ways as well. I couldn't help but notice that we upset you talking about what we did last we interacted. Are you calm now?
Yes.
Or would you perhaps care for some help to get calm?
No, dear. I'm okay. It brings back many unpleasant memories. That is all.
Thank you for your time. And I head back to Albus.
What'd she say?
Ooh, excuse me. She said she would look and bring it to our table if she found it.
Okay.
So let's continue down this path.
Was it just those 3 books up there? Did we have all the books that are up there, or did we just stop after 3?
No, you have all the books that were up there, minus the missing one.
Nice.
Oh,
Right.
Can I ask her what book would have been there while I was over there?
You can.
Can you tell me perhaps what book is missing between X book and X book?
Well, dear, I would certainly have to look. When I come to your table, show me the ones that you have, and I will see if I recognize what's there, what is not. We don't exactly have a great way of keeping up with what leaves. Yeah.
You know, I met this wizard named Dewey. He has a fantastic decimal system. Joffrey just baseball. You might consider reaching out to him. He would be happy to help you integrate it.
Oh, I should make you roll psychic damage for that. I should.
But I'm so happy. I don't mind. Thank you very much. I continue back to Albus.
All right. Well, I'm just thumbing through other short stories, looking through those, and if there's anything that mentions pretty much dragons or the Flame of Numar or anything like that.
Okay. So as you kind of just continue to thumb through, there's more brief mentions in the short stories of Fisari about kind of more. I guess at that point there'd be more so legends of the light of Namor, considering that you are separated by a massive
time span,
massive ocean. There's tales of them having fighters with them that are 15, 25 foot tall. Some that it seems as you read more and more, it seems probably more outlandish than truth. There are a few pieces that are fairly interesting. You learn that there were specific weapons that they kind of, each iteration kind of has its own. You have one that makes mention of kind of this dazzling sword. You have one that makes mention of this specific bow, and but there's really no rhyme or reason to it, so it's really hard to put it together, so to speak, because they hop around, and I guess I'm trying to think of how I want to word it. Um, I'm going to make up a word. The far fetchedness of some of the stories seems
Yeah.
super outlandish, while others seem like, that could possibly be something. So yeah,
Any stories about the Battle of Orr?
there are a few stories of the battle, and it is kind of much like you would expect. Here's just this story of these heroic fighters that met and battled this massive monstrosity. Good wins the day and all that jazz.
I know they weren't banished. What was the cleric a cleric of? There was a cleric in the party, right?
Yeah, there was a cleric, but it didn't say. It said, well, he was a follower of Bahamut.
Okay.
It was the cleric was a gnome named Billowtrick.
Then maybe
And
we are on the right track looking for metallics.
perhaps, yeah. I don't put a lot of faith. I don't put a lot of faith in odds. They seem to be unreliable.
Oh, I'm not saying we beseech Bahamut for help, but I'm saying gold dragons may not be beyond the scope of the system. We
Okay.
lost our contact with Bahamut with better duck.
All right. Well, I think that's all we're gonna get out of these 3 books. Is there anything else that we should research while we're here?
His friends. Who are these other 3 dragons?
DM, like, what time is it? Is it because I know we wanted to meet back with the group at around dusk?
Yeah,
Are we doing on time?
So by this point, you are pushing into probably mid to very late afternoon. Um, Probably 4 or 5. Sun's definitely on the downward. It's not quite dusk yet, but you've probably got maybe an hour before the sun would be setting.
It took us an hour to get here. If we don't set off now, we won't make it in time.
I'm tempted to just try one more thing.
I'm with you. I will contact the group if need be and tell them where we are and why we are late. Even after I made such a case for not being late.
Let's do that. I feel like we're on a roll, and I don't want to. I know we could possibly come back, but knowing our group, we might find ourselves in chaos and not end up coming back.
I just thought of something. What if somebody comes and burns this library down before we are able to return tomorrow?
A terrible, terrible thing.
I'm not excited about it, but if I was a follower of Aftergoth keen on bringing him back, I would burn down the source of knowledge on how to keep him from doing so.
Well, I wasn't going to burn down the library, but now I
might. Don't you, Alexander the Great Me? Don't you do it.
Oh, Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, right? All right, do your one more thing, Albus. I'm here to help.
All right, and so we want, because I know you had some other questions. You talked about some other things to look at. If we have one more thing, let's make sure it counts. What do we want? What do we want it to be on? Those other 4 dragons?
Other 3.
Other 3?
Do you weigh other things as having a higher priority? I'm open to suggestion.
Well, no, because on our, I just want to make sure there wasn't something else that you're like, this should be priority.
So. No, I think that the world-ending dragons are priority.
Okay, I agree. I just don't want to take over here.
No, I am here to assist you. You're far more bookish than I, despite having been raised in a tower by a wizard. I'm grateful to have you here because, I'll be honest, most of this I would be unable to decipher.
All right. Let's see if we can get pointed in the right direction. You want to talk to her again, or shall I?
If we have a rapport, I guess I'll do it.
right.
I've hunt down our librarian friend
Okay.
again.
All right.
I'm just stalking her.
you
I'm just
are.
this horned, hooded creature. I'm stalking her in the stacks.
You completely are. Yeah. So she notices you coming.
I hope.
Yeah, obviously.
And runs the other way.
I would too. That's fair.
She kind of lets out a. Yes, dear.
Hello. So sorry to take up your time again. What were we going to ask again, Albus? Where to find information on the other dragons about?
Yeah, so anything about like a section on dragons or a section on history, monsters, something like that, so we can figure out about the 4 dragons.
I'm going to make a leap and assume that Vathnagoth would not associate himself with dragons of a lesser power. So I'm assuming these are all demigod level dragons in their own right. That may be a leap, and I'm happy to be proven wrong, but that's what I'm going to go with for now. Do you have anything on any and all dragons of Vathnagoth's size and power level?
It takes her a moment. She's obviously in very deep thought. Dear, if there were other dragons in this world as powerful as that, we'd all be dead.
Yes, I'm saying they're not in this world. Mythos, history, legend, even of dragons of that nature. Anything.
There might be. And she kind of takes off in front of you, heading back towards the table where Albus is at. Because I'm assuming that the table that you're at is at the back of the.
Yeah.
You wouldn't carry the books from the back all the way to the front. Would make any sense. So you're in the
No.
back. So
One of us is with them at all times.
right, yeah.
These little
So
arms.
she kind of I guess the easiest way to describe it, in kind of the mom that power walks around your neighborhood. She's just
Eagle's
like,
on the move. Eagle is on the move.
yeah, she is power walking, buddy, and she's just she's just gone.
All right.
You're almost at like a low jog to keep up with her.
Okay.
So she heads back, and as she glances at the books that you have on the table, she goes, I'm assuming that this is all of the books from the shelf.
Yeah,
Yes.
This is all that was up there. We noticed that there was one that had been there. There's an indent in the dust, but it's not there anymore.
Indeed.
You know which one that was?
I believe the questions that you are asking are more than likely going to be in that book, yes.
Of course. Do you have a record of who takes these books, or was it illicitly taken?
We do not keep a reference, no.
You might implement a card system where people have to present their card. You show some form of ID in order to get said card. Promise to bring said books back. Face a penalty.
Charge them money if they don't bring it back. There you go.
Yes,
You guys,
that'll be sure to work.
You guys suck so much.
You're lucky I'm not playing my librarian rogue from another universe.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that is so great. I needed that. so much. So as she looks through what you have there, she kind of takes a minute. She looks around. Um, she says, "Yes, the book that you are going to be looking for is Hiding a Storm."
Hiding a storm.
But
So confining insanity, hiding a storm, and then this book of short stories.
yeah,
Okay.
And a small, short history of Scenaria.
Okay. Were any of them by the same authors?
do not believe so, my dear.
The alliteration of confining insanity and the other hiding the storm seemed it seemed indicative. Continue. What was the name? Okay, so that was the name of the book, Hiding the Storm, and it would have had information about other semi-deific dragons.
Based off of what you have here, I would believe so.
I look concernedly at Albus, and that information's nowhere else in this library.
Not not that I know of, my dear. But I have not read every book here, but I don't know that you have the time.
If it's here, we'll make time. We need to get going anyway. The group is inevitably going to be wondering where we are.
All right. Well, thank you so much for all your help. My name is Albus.
And I'm Mariel.
Oh, yes, it's great to meet you. Big tall blue one, little
Terrence
small
is wearing off.
one.
What's your name?
My name is Altos, and I am the caretaker of this library.
Altos. Pleasure to meet you, Altos, and thank you for your exceptional aid today. I slip her like 5 gold, because she's been incredibly patient with us.
Oh, thank you, dear.
And this is a donation to the library. I'm going to give her 10 platinum.
I don't even know where to begin with my thanks. Thank you.
You could start by implementing a card system and a Dewey Decimal System. Good day.
If yes, we'll be back. So thank you for your help. And we leave to go back, try and find our group.
Okay. I would say by this point, Devlin, were you heading back to kind of the inn after you did your stuff?
Depending upon how late it was, he might have made a quick pit stop at the weapon store to purchase a specific item for a specific someone. But if it was too late in the evening, he would. Actually, you know what? Yeah, he'll be a good boy, and if it's late in the evening, he'll go back to the inn. I was just seeing how much of a rebel he was going to be of, nah, I'm going to do this thing first, then go back. So if it's too late, once he comes out, he'll go back to the inn.
No, got it. Okay. Alright, so at that point we will just say everyone has made their way back to inn. It is now sun has set. The tavern kind of begins to fill with your normal locals, soldiers coming in off of their watches, a few what I would consider ne'er-do-wells come in. They look a lot like Devlin.
What does it say of Devlin?
Right. Yeah. What does that say about the company he keeps?
That's fair. That's even more fair. We're the idiots who keep. No, I'm kidding.
Absolutely.
Hey, Raja being the idiot he is, he's just sitting back in his chair at the table, down in some ale.
Sounds about right.
So who would like to go first?
I'm still chewing on ours. How about you?
I know that you're going to see Terrence's
Evelyn,
not in a very good
Yeah.
mood right now.
Terrence's jaw is like locked tight, and his eye keeps twitching. And we're like, "We'll get to you."
Evelyn, how'd you make out with your contact?
I'm almost inclined to go last because I'm very curious what the proper people of the city is saying is going on versus what's actually going on. So I'll go last, if you don't mind. I'm very curious to see what the pulse of the city is on the surface, and then I can give what the underbellies was saying.
Well, I have no idea what the normal people are saying. We looked up history, basically. We found out quite a few things, and we'll convey them.
Bleh.
Bleh.
Word
Yeah.
vomit.
Word vomit.
Like Kyle.
But we'll specifically mention the ruins of Raugas. Specifically mentioned that and how there appeared to be some sort of fight happened there with dragons. That might be somewhere. Check out.
We're also I'm gonna briefly mention that there were hints towards specific weapons that the Flame used over the course of their tenure against Vathnagoth. And if we can find said weapons, perhaps we might utilize them as well.
My one question is, it sounds like this has just been a repeat that keeps happening over and over and over and over through history, but people seem to forget this. Or at least you're saying these flame people keep popping up at different points. Either the same people or just the latest iteration that takes the mantle.
Yes. It seems like every time Vathnagoth pokes his head into the material plane, the Flame is there to snuff it. Perhaps it's our turn to be the Flame.
Rains his head toward Mara.
I'll look over at Terrence, be like, "So, how'd things go at the temple?"
Terrence has just been death gripping his mug the entire night.
Is it a metal mug? Just out of curiosity, because if it's a metal mug, it is now squeezed to nothing.
Metal
it's
mugs
wood.
cost money, it's wood.
It's
Okay.
wood. So you
It's
probably
in
shattered
pieces.
it.
I've probably shattered it.
Splinters.
It's leaking onto his hand.
So it's leaking red onto his hand. No. DM, just because I don't quite remember, did everything that I learned at the temple, did it specifically give me any names?
I just watched it and I don't remember there being.
Okay, because I was trying to remember if I had watched, if that was what I had seen from Devlin's, or if that was mine. I got them.
Well,
Only one individual got actual names.
Okay, good.
That's coming up.
All right.
You were just told that what I remember, the priest just said that he had a suspicion and that it had to be the guards.
Yeah.
He that was his suspicion. That's what he thought it was, but he didn't have names or even confirmation that it was the guards.
Okay.
But 6 times is a little much, and I bet these guards are pretty sure of themselves.
So Terrence looks up at everybody and says, this city is being oppressed by somebody. Somebody is shaking down this city. Somebody is extremely corrupt, even more so than your normal guilds and gangs. They have killed several paladins who have tried to stop it. The church seems to have an idea that it might be the guards. Quite honestly, after seeing the guards at the gate, I'm inclined to go that way. Right now, I want to go to the king and either find out if he knows about it or beat the crap out of him because he does know about it.
Yeah, I'm
So-
inclined to agree with you on that one,
Oh,
Terrence.
that is a lost
Um,
cause, unfortunately, Terrence lad.
Well, then enlighten me, please, Devlin, because right now I'm about ready to take out the nearest guard if he comes in.
I would hold your horses. So here's what's actually going on that I managed to find out. The ruling monarch of this city is either completely ignorant or is completely hands-off of the situation. They have no interaction with the ruling. They're title only at this point. It's the council that does the actual day-to-day lawmaking, as you will probably ascertained. Yes, it is the gods. In fact, I have names of the gods that are running this entire operation.
I kind of gently put a hand on Devlin's forearm and say, I don't know if we should tell him the names. He's not in this state.
So, what's the head honcho name for this council? Some big shot whispering in the king's ear?
That was never answered through the questions that Devlin asked, or if it was, I don't have that information as a player.
I signal a barmaid. Hey, who's head of the council to the king? Surely they know their constituents. I mean, did you vote for them?
Or-
Like, what are we talking?
Devlin may have asked the question, but Joffrey, the player, may not have gotten the information to divulge.
I don't remember.
I
I'm
don't think
fairly
you did.
positive that was never.
I listened to it on the way home tonight,
Yeah.
and I
Well,
don't remember.
The
you.
questions I sent in the message to try and do a follow-up in the time period.
I believe the particular name that
It was only guards. Devlin only got guard names.
Mm-hmm.
He will look around. Is there anyone paying attention to their table at the moment? In particular, any of the mood kinsmen that Devlin would recognize?
Make a perception check.
$18.
There is no one paying attention to you guys whatsoever.
Good.
Devlin wants you to lean in. I will only say this not for someone to go decreasing the population's kneecaps, but just to put the hands on the table in full transparency. Savvy?
I won't take anybody's kneecaps out.
just leaning
Or
back.
their elbows, Terrence.
I won't take their elbows out either.
The two running
No
the
parts of their bodies. You're not a collector.
the two running the operation are a Lieutenant Twinkill and a Captain Hunter.
Terrence is not laughing right now.
Are you all right, Roger?
You good there, Raja?
I grab Joffrey's collar, pull him closer to. I grab Devlin's collar, I pull him closer to me, face practically nose to nose. Did you say Hunter?
Captain Hunter, aye?
We need to go to the ship, Captain. Right
Is this
now.
meant-
Now hold up.
I'm
What?
telling you.
Going on, Roger?
First, would you mind letting me go? Unless you want to make a bold brawl look really interesting to divulge information away from us.
Talk later. Right now, we need to go to the ship. Right.
Raja, spill
I
it.
get up, I leave a couple gold coins on the table, and I start walking out the door.
Ugh.
The strange thing is, I didn't think he was going to be the one to react negatively to that. I was placing bets on you, Terrence.
I would have.
me too.
I have no clue who they are.
Ma, who wants to bring it back?
Actually, I think we should follow them.
Yeah, let's
I
follow.
guess I guess
Oh,
we're
by the
sleeping
way,
on
our ship is in the nice part of the docks now.
Oh,
That's
Probably a
good.
good thing. But we're probably going to want
Well,
you to take
Raj is already like 30 paces ahead.
Given what we know about the guards of this city, I'm not sure we want them patrolling and snooping around our ship.
We should probably follow him, or else he's the one who got pickpocketed last time, and...
Fair.
Terrence,
We're gonna put the dread helm on.
Terrence yells for Raja.
Come on, you fools. Hurry up.
Oh, you're gonna have to explain yourself.
In a moment, come on.
Devlin is taking up the rear. He is keeping an eye out for his people. Are we being tagged? Are we being followed?
Raja is doubly due diligently keeping an eye out.
Terrence is extremely angry and has his hand on his sword.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have fun with this.
I'm sure you are.
Terrence, you're gonna make a perception check with disadvantage.
Come on.
Devlin, you're gonna make a perception check with advantage. Raja, you're gonna make a perception check just straight up. No guidance, no nothing, no help.
Oh, great.
Go.
With disadvantage, what does that mean?
You roll twice and tell me the lowest.
24.
Okay.
Oof.
18.
That's your low?
Yep.
Nice.
Nice. Good
I
job.
had a 21 and then an 18.
Nice.
Dirty 20.
Okay, alright.
Fire!
You are... Raja, as you're leading the group. As you're kind of, I'll call it what it is, throwing a huffy temper tantrum through the city.
I'm trying to lead in a urgent yet cautious manner.
Yeah, so you're a big ass Dragonborn in plate,
Yeah.
stomping through the city. It looks
Can
like
I-
a temper tantrum there, Godzilla.
Do I have time to, like, major image, like a cart and horse around him so that he doesn't look... Like, if he's...
No.
My thought is... Okay.
That would be a
Understood.
big no.
So, as Raja, as you are making your way from the bar back to the dock, of course, you're going to be kind of on that main road. You pick at no less than 3 faces that you recognize.
Oh, no.
Hmm.
We're
They
gonna
don't-
get that god fight, it seems.
They don't stop you. You don't stop them. But you keep going. Devlin,
Yep.
as you're kind of leading the rear, you notice as he is passing these people, not only are their heads turning, but you kind of know that look when people know somebody.
Like they know Raja.
Yeah. And as you make your way beyond them, probably within, I'd probably say between 15 to 25 steps from them, you kind of notice that they kind of leave where they're at and slowly mosey in the same trail.
Snaps his fingers, visible war pick comes into existence, and Devlin is now holding it on his shoulder. Weapon is out in the open. It's kind of, I'm not acknowledging this, but it's a
Deterrent.
deterrent. Is kind of, I know where you are. Raja's about to do something really stupid.
Yeah, can I see him do that? Devlin?
Oh, I thought you were going to say,
You
can you see
probably
Ryan
hear the
do-
snap and then a splash of water you've come to associate with him summoning his war pick.
I just wipe my face off. Okay.
He's probably
Time to
far.
fight.
He's probably far enough back that you wouldn't notice immediately. You might recognize some of the kind of audible cues of what's going
Okay.
on. And
Can
so
I
as
double
the
time?
the
ahead.
guards are behind, they're not necessarily gaining ground.
They're just pacing.
They're just pacing at this point.
Okay. I'm gonna mind gonna like mind talk to Raja and say, if you show them where our boat is, we won't be able to leave this continent. Find somewhere else to go.
And
And
Devlin knows. They already know it because he was with Devlin when the boat was moved.
I was gonna say they've already made us. We need to just get out of here as quickly as possible, is what I'm telling Muriel. I will explain everything on the boat, but right now I'm pretty sure we've been made long before now. It's just that this is not a group that we need to deal with right now.
Okay. So, if I'm hearing this correctly, it's Raja in front. These guards are trailing him at what? 20 paces?
Yeah, roughly. They're trailing Devlin.
Okay, so they're trailing Devlin. Where is Devlin and Raja in relation? Yeah,
Raja.
I'm in the front, he's in the back.
Raja probably has, I would probably say, 20, 25 good paces. So they're about half as far back.
Okay. So it's Raja, Devlin, and then the guards.
Yeah.
Okay. I will cast Major Image of a small red dragon, like not a young, but like something the next size up, coming over the roofs. And because it's Major Image, it is everything but the scent. Essentially, it is sight, sound, everything. It looks real. It was real enough we tried to fool Mara with it, with the Beholder. And small red dragon shrieks over the rooftops and lands in between the guards and our two other teammates.
Albus freaks out.
I look at Albus and I say, run. We're catching up. Attaboy. And I will pop my talk to everybody thing, and I will say, run to the boat.
But there's a red dragon to fight.
It's not real, it's mine. Run to the boat.
All right.
I'm not sure Terrence runs well.
Oh, jeez.
I will... Let me see. Is that a major...
Am I
major
reusing a picture? Yes, I am. So I don't want to hear about it in a video.
I didn't say nothing.
I thought it was a good picture.
That is a
All right,
Nice.
well,
picture.
I guess we're running to the boat.
Yeah,
I
we're
guess
getting out of here. So
Yes.
Major Image works in a range of 120 feet. But I assume once we get out of 120 feet, we'll be well outside of their ability to pursue. Bless you.
Yeah. All right. So at this point, I'm going to say that the group is now what I would consider in full sprint. So,
Yep.
everybody make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, boy.
Right.
Oh. Ugh.
Oh,
Con? Oh, goody.
14 total.
26.
I got it.
15.
Get it,
18.
Albus? Ooh. Albus is booking it. He is hauling.
24.
Oh,
I
need to tell him twice.
Those little legs are going double tap.
Okay, so everybody made their save. Shoot, I drug everyone off screen. Oh well. Yeah, so
We fall off the edge of the world.
So as you basically book through the city, massive dragon shows up in the middle of the road. You know, these people are freaking out. The guards kind of halt in their tracks, tuck tail and haul ass the other way. And
That's right.
you guys are able to make it up to the dock without incident. I'm assuming you are boarding the ship fairly quickly.
Yes.
Mhm.
Embark. Everyone embark. Quickly.
Are we taking off? Or are we just?
We are
Uh,
casting off. Cast
Captain,
off,
is that
Captain.
what we're gonna do?
I guess
Cast
you are gonna
off,
have
Captain.
you are gonna
have
have
to
some
help.
training.
Trust me.
Terrence
We are
looks
not ready
over-
for this group.
Terrence looks over at Raja. There is a major issue here. They have killed
And-
several paladins.
And we will come back. But not right now. We are not prepared. Cast off, Captain.
Are you going to get the rigging? We're kind of tied to the docks.
Okay. Then I will get the rigging.
Get the
Actually-
rigging.
I will ask the obvious question that we should have asked. Is the boat there? Is anyone on the boat?
How many guards are between us and the boat?
Hey, he already said we made it on the boat.
Yeah, why are you questioning him?
No takesy back.
Because the last time we set out without a dressing, we spent 2 hours walking through the city looking for a shop.
This is true.
Yes. But it's a nice way to spend a morning.
Yeah, right.
Quite.
Luckily, there is no one on the boat except you guys. So after Raja fumbles around with the rigging for a second, you were able to kind of slowly get your way off of the dock, get pushed back, and then out into the bay of the city.
As soon as we
Care
get
to explain what's going on, Raja?
I'm looking at the dock to see if anyone's coming up behind us to follow, more or less.
Okay. Make a. You'd be far enough away now that would be interesting.
Raja, hold the wheel. Devin will spin around, take out his spyglass.
There we
I'm
go.
holding the wheel.
All right, now
There we go.
make your perception check with advantage.
Tell me somebody put ink in the eye part so it gives the black eye.
21.
21. As you get probably several hundred yards off the dock and into the bay, you watch as a line of 6 guards, or 6 at least soldier appearing people, make their way to the dock. You notice 2 in particular amongst them that are large enough that even as far away as you are, you can get a pretty decent idea. One of them stands roughly about the same size and shape as Raja, but for some reason he's given off a bit of a red tint.
Devin's audibly describing what he's seeing.
And the other is a very large, hulking orc. The others appear to be kind of a mixture between tall and short, roughly like human-sized. So obviously there could be some mixed races in there, but those 2 definitely stand out the most among.
Are they boarding a ship and pursuing us, Devlin?
Are they? Or are they just standing at the dock looking after us?
At this point, they're just staring at the dock, looking at.
So we've all heard the descriptions of them.
Devin will slam the eyeglass closed. Get off the wheel.
So Terrence now looks over at Raja. So there's 6 of them. 2 of them are big. Why couldn't we take them?
Because this
We put
group
dragons
is an elite. We are a ragtag team bunch at best. This group
Excuse
is an
you.
elite.
Elite? This group is nothing. This group is
Ask
nothing.
my
I
exes.
mean-
I'm pretty elite up top.
Oh my.
I mean, y'all kind of beat a red dragon. Are they really more scary than a red dragon?
You're making it sound like they're
Their
hired
cap-
killers.
Their captain makes that red dragon look like child's play. He
Okay,
is.
I'm missing something. I'll be waving my hands like that. I'm missing something. What?
From the dread helm.
Look,
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
he's all of this.
So, what? What is
You guys
going
know-
on?
you guys know that I pride myself on two things: honor and my military status, in that order.
News to me, but I'm new to this group.
Sorry, Devlin, but
That's true, Devlin. He really does.
So I am a knight. You know this, but I used to belong to an elite group called the Eldritch Knights. And Raja starts taking off his armor as he's talking. And the captain of the Eldritch Knights, his name is Darius Hunter. He is a red dragonborn, like me. Well, golden, obviously, but point was, I rose in the ranks in the military really quick. And when I joined the Eldritch Knights, and at this point, all his armor's removed, and he turns and faces, and you see above his left pec a tattoo of a knight on horseback with the horse rearing up on its hind legs, and the knight holding a trident in a forward direction, the trident symbolizing an E, and there is a scar over it, over the tattoo. So Darius is a charmer, to put it mildly. He has a way to charm you, like he speaks, and it's like he puts a spell on you of infinite charm. And those he doesn't charm, he intimidates. He's a strategist. He knows how to fight. He's got years of experience. And he's relentless. He's a snake. And the only reason that I am even out from under his spell right now is because of the horrors I saw working under him. Like, we prided ourselves on protecting the weak, protecting the public, just like paladins, but we weren't paladins.
You know,
We
minus
were
the fancy stuff.
I won't hold that against you.
We were a close-knit family, or so I thought. And one time at one point, I finally approached him and I said, I don't like where this is going. I think I should lead the Eldritch Knights. I don't like how you're leading them. And in the Eldritch Knights, there's a code for leadership. You duel one-on-one, fair and square, and lose to the death. Meaning there is no survival. I was young. I was naive. And honestly, the battle was very one-sided. Darius toyed with me. And in the end, knowing my pride as my weakness, he left me this scar and left me alive, dishonored, humiliated, and challenged me that if I have what it takes to come back and take the leadership from him. And for the past 3 years before I met this group, I had been out there trying to acquire the strength for that exact goal. Every single individual in his team is a well-oiled machine. Unlike us, they always have a plan, and each one of them is deadly to a fault. The big orc that you saw, that's Twin Kill. That is one of his lieutenants. That is the muscle behind his men. His other lieutenant is a half elf by the name of Falborin Moon. And honestly, he is Hunter's right-hand man, his strategist. Whatever strategies and theories, game plans he comes up with, Darius will take and improve, no matter how perfect. This guy's damn good. And there are several others, including the one that I had the most respect for out of the entire group was another fellow Dragonborn. Fellow by the name of Dramar Jardhall. He's a silver Dragonborn, and he's actually a wizard. Actually, he was the youngest to achieve such high levels of magic. He makes Albus's fireballs look like child's play. You also have an elf by the name of Reldor Truewater, who is a sharpshooter. They call him Eagle Eye because he can shoot with accurate precision from an insane distance.
I look over my shoulder back towards the docks.
He is also very good at extracting information and is very accustomed to torture methods.
So, what do you need to combat this guy? How strong do you need to be?
Well,
give me a number between 1 and 20.
Well, let me just say this. I've never known Darius to lose a battle, whether it be 1-on-1 or 10-on-1. I've seen him take on groups of people.
You're scared. I've never seen you
Raja.
scared before, Raja.
With all due respect, Raja, there's a first time for everything.
Yes, I am scared because Hunter is a threat.
A threat that'll follow us?
If he's got his claws in this city, chances are he's whispering in the king's ear.
So, Evelyn, you mentioned that this Captain Hunter and Twin Kill were on the take and part of the corruption. And so you mentioned that paladins were being killed. They thought it was by the guards. So is this group? Do you think that is who is killing these paladins and who is running this racket?
Oh, I am 100% sure that it is Hunter behind it all. And the most dangerous individual of the group has actually been with Hunter the longest, but he's not high on the ranks, and he chooses that. It's a tabaxi by the name of Shadow. And he is Hunter's assassin. He actually acquired the nickname Shadows of the Wind. He makes Devlin's sneak skills look like nothing.
Question.
Crazy.
In your experience, Devlin he's not angry. For once, he sounds like he is listening to every single word you are saying. Have you ever known this Eldritch Knights? Are they true mercenaries that sell their services out, or is this one of those, whatever tickles their fancy is what they do?
Look, when I was with them, they served under the king back across the ocean.
Because unfortunately, this sounds like exactly the kind of people that Colon Sale would have given some control or free reign to if their paths ever crossed. They seemed like his kinds of people. They would get along with Torn Sale. Wonder if their paths ever crossed.
I don't know whose paths he's crossed with in the past 3 years, but I did hear 2 years ago that the entire group went rogue from the kingdom and that there were bounties on each and every one of their heads. But then they just disappeared. Now I see where they've gone.
Either
At this
escaped or
point-
ferried.
At this point, Terrence unclenches his fist from the rails and turns to Raja. What is it we need to do to match or beat them?
We are going to need a solid plan because no doubt in my mind that even before we just made this getaway, we were made. There was no way I was not spotted early in the early hours of the morning. Which
Why did they wait? Why didn't they take you in?
I don't know. Darius, his mind works in so many ways. Just when you think you've got him figured out, he will pull a 180 and do something you completely won't expect.
Was anyone matching the description, particular to Tabaxi, in the little slum tavern that Devlin was in, where he was fed the name? Because this all exploded once Devlin mentioned the name, but he was the only one that had a name out of this entire. Almost
Are you
like
talking to Raja or talking to Brandon?
To Brandon.
Oh, okay.
Because if it sounds like they were waiting for a realization to kick in that they were in here, and for Raja to realize they were in town for you to up and get away, or they were immediately on your tail. Devlin was the one who got the names. He's the only one who got that information. So, was someone there to plant the information in the bartender?
Or was the bartender paid?
Insight?
While he's doing that, Terrence is going to lean in close to Raja and just above a whisper say, I hate cats.
That's an 8 at a 0 modifier, so nope. It was a shot in the dark, but...
Look, Terrence.
But yeah, with that, there, yeah.
I could bend luck. You know what? Because you mentioned that, I do have bend luck.
You are gonna bend luck, all right.
I'm gonna bend luck. 12.
Not much
He
better.
remembers the bar.
Shall I look over and see you concentrating and give you a guidance?
I don't think it would work in this
Even with
situation.
the guidance, it's not gonna let me know.
Okay.
I'll look over at Terrence, be like, look, I want to get Hunter and help this town as much as you do. Believe me. But we need something solid.
We will come back. We will take these people out. We will get ready. You're going to have to show us how. You're the one who knows them better than all of us. There's no way that we're going to be able to do it the way we are from what you're saying. So
That's
you're
exactly.
You're going to have to help us get there.
I put an arm on Raja's forearm and I say, you're not alone anymore. You're older, you're wiser, you're much stronger.
But you're not better looking.
You're not the naive little creature he beat and played with and gave you that scar.
To play, just to state the other end of this, we could just keep sailing, There's no reason to go back.
I look at Terrence.
We do already have a dragon or more than one to deal with.
We could always come back. That's true.
Can I just say, Raja and Terrence both look at Albus with this, you're joking, right?
Yes, putting it out there.
Twin look. Just, what?
Putting it out there. Nope.
At the very least,
Nobody
we
ever
need to.
listens to me, but yeah, whatever. Let's put another bad guy on our list.
Yeah.
Find another way to die. I'm happy with that. Joy.
Add it to the list,
after-
Albus.
After my look over at Albus, I look back at Raja and go, if we're not ready, then we'll keep on our original quest with the idea that we will come back, even if it's just you and I. And we will stop these people.
That
I
sounded like a
snort.
threat.
Sounds like what?
Sounded like a threat.
It
Like
kind of
everyone else
is.
is going to be dead.
No, it
Or
was,
not want to.
No, it was if everybody else has other things to do, I'm with you to, that kind of a thing.
Agreed.
Well,
Well, I'd
what's
like
our
to see you
course?
try.
I will share everything I know about these guys. No doubt Darius has recruited people that I don't know about in 3 years. But I believe a good chunk of the original crew is still with him. And I will share all that I can, all that I know, and try to prepare this group as much as possible. And with your help, we will save that city and hopefully kill Darius Hunter, or I will die trying.
We will save the city, and you will not die.
Never say never, lad.
And that,
Look
folks,
over it.
is a good stop to
Good.
stop for the night. So,
Awesome.
hey, if you joined us tonight, thanks so much for watching. It's been a blast being back. We will see you next week, same time, same place.
Same bat channel.
Be on the lookout for the video to be posted if you want to watch afterwards. And yeah, God bless. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
See you later.